Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Thursday, July 25th, 2024. I am Lance Brock. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in this morning and listening to the Thursday episode of 360 Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Last night we had a special episode of AEW Dynamite. It was blood and guts as we get ready for another big pro wrestling weekend coming up Friday. Not only the normal Friday night shows, SmackDown and Rampage, but also the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor premium live event, Honor Plus or Honor Club special. And Saturday night we have Collision, and immediately following Collision is Battle of the Belts. That's all this weekend. Once again, a lot of pro wrestling coming up. But on this Thursday morning episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, going to be talking about last night's special episode of Dynamite Blood and Guts. I have to admit, I think AEW always does a good job of making Blood and Guts seem special, almost like a pay-per-view quality episode of TV. To be honest, I look forward to it most years, and last night was no different. Let's get into it. Dynamite Blood and Guts was live at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. Our commentators, Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and the Human Suplex Machine, Taz. This week, the commentators are located at ringside. For some reason, AEW lately has been changing back and forth the position of the announcers. The commentators, at 1 week, they're at ringside. 1 week, they're up at the entrance. And honestly, it doesn't really matter to me where they have the broadcast position. I just wish they would kind of make up their minds and keep it in the same place. Lately, they've been moving it. I don't know if it depends on what arena they are in at the time or not. I apologize as this rude airplane flies over now. Very inconsiderate. Even though people are walking to work right now trying to record episodes of their podcasts. Rude airplanes don't care. And we start off in a parking garage. Alex Marvez, and then Will Ospreay, he sees that his tire has been slashed, and then he borrows Alex Marvez's car with him, puts him in the passenger seat. And we start off with a match for the FTW for the World Championship. The Learning Tree, Chris Jericho defending against the legendary Minoru Suzuki. Pretty good match. And this one was a chop battle for sure. At one point, the crowd there in Nashville even chanting "Chop Forever." And Chris Jericho's chest even getting a little bit of blood busted open from the chops by Suzuki. Really good match here, but it is Chris Jericho retaining the FTW Championship with the Judas Effect, defeating Minoru Suzuki at 13 minutes, 57 seconds. And then we have MJF, Maxwell, Jacob Friedman. Actually, I'm going out of order. That was the first segment. We have the new AEW International Champion MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman in the ring. He throws the AEW International Championship in the garbage and brings out the brand new AEW American Championship, which I have to admit is actually a nice looking title. Cuts a very good heel promo on Nashville, and this will be great, him being a heel as the American champion going into All In London, England at Wembley Stadium August 25th. And then we get the arrival of the aerial assassin Will Ospreay, and he challenges MJF for All In. And now we have the in-ring return of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on one of her biggest rivals in AEW history, Hikaru Shida. And these two have had great matches in the past, and last night was no different. I thought this was a really good match. It is Britt Baker getting the win, 10 minutes, 18 seconds. And then we get an appearance from the AEW TBS champion, Mercedes Moné, and she talks about the challenge for All In from the Good Doctor, but she says no. And then we get from behind, finally, the debut of former NWA Women's Champion Camille attacking Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Now kind of looks like going to be almost like a bodyguard or a Diesel to Mercedes Moné. They could set up where before All In, Dr. Britt Baker could get put in a match against Camille. If she wins, she could get the title shot against Mercedes at All In. Now, this has been talked about for quite a while. Camille coming to AEW. It's been, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months, I want to say. But now Camille finally in All Elite Wrestling. Very talented wrestler. Had a long reign as NWA Women's Champion. And Pac defeated Beefcake Boulder, 1 minute 48 seconds. And Mariah May, I have to get used to saying that now, defeated Caitlin Alexis, 1 minute 36 seconds. And it is time for the main event, Blood and Guts, Team AEW, the AEW World Champion, Swerve Strickland, the Ring of Honor World Champion, Mark Briscoe, Darby Allin, and the acclaimed Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, taking on the Elite, the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada, the AEW TNT Champion Jack Perry, and Hangman Adam Page. This one, I expected it to be brutal, and it definitely was. Definitely bloody. First, Hangman didn't come out, but then we saw him attacking Swerve Strickland to renew that rivalry. Handcuffs Strickland to the cage, and then Jeff Jarrett comes down, frees Swerve Strickland, and then the cage door is locked, but then Prince Nana had bow cutters, gives him the swerve, and cuts part of the cage and is able to get in. And this one is definitely bloody. There's stapled guns, barbed wire boards, of course, chairs, tables, ladders, the usual weapons. Anthony Bowens falling from, I guess you could say, kind of the top of the cage, even though it was more of the side, through 4 tables. And at one, I know I'm going out of order here all over the place, but at one point, Swerve Strickland is in the only one from Team AEW standing, and then all the members of the Elite get him with a staple gun. But the finish sees Darby Allin handcuffing Jack Perry to the cage. He's bloodied. Darby goes, gets some gasoline, pours it all over the body of Jack Perry, and then gets a lighter, gonna set him on fire if he doesn't quit. And he also adds that he wants an AEW TNT championship match for All In as well. And he says if he doesn't give it to him, he is going to set him on fire. And then Jack Perry won't quit. So finally he goes to Matthew Jackson. And finally Matthew Jackson, first he okays the TNT championship match for All In. And then he says they quit being the Elite. That is, Team AEW gained the victory, which, to be honest, wasn't really a surprise. I kind of expected it since the Elite got the win in Anarchy in the Arena. Very good episode of Dynamite, Blood and Guts, I thought. Feel free to let me know your opinions and your thoughts on it in the comment section, either here on Spreaker, YouTube, or wherever you listen to 360 Wrestling Podcasts. I'm at work now, I have to go, but tonight we got TNA Impact on Access TV and TNA Plus, Ring of Honor on Honor Club, which is the go-home episode before tomorrow night's Death Before Dishonor premium live event, and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Friday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans to preview Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope everyone can enjoy me tomorrow. But until then, have a great pro wrestling day.